Hi everyone, I'm Bryn. I'm doing a solo reaction today of a new show that I've heard a lot about and a lot of people have recommended to me. It's the Trigun reboot, the Trigun Stampede. And the more I learn about this show, I don't know very much yet, but the more I learn about it, the more I'm like, okay, this was tailor-made for me specifically. The protagonist is a pacifist. Me too. Several of my favorite protagonists are pacifist. He's a blonde man with strong principles and a missing arm. My two favorite characters in the world are blonde men with strong principles and missing arms. It's a space western in a desert. I grew up in the desert. I love the desert. I'm a big fan of space westerns and basically anything that combines genres together. Oh yeah, one of my friends said she keeps seeing cosplays of this guy, specifically the version from the reboot, and thinking that it's me. So apparently I look like him too. A lot of things all combined together that makes it my whole that was made for me. I'm excited because I don't really know anything about the plot other than the basic premise. There's like a bounty. There's a bounty, a big one on this guy. That's about all I got. So let's go ahead and get started. A very Star Wars sort of opening. I know a lot of people don't like his 3D animation style. I love it. I think there's bad execution of it, but Jeff? Oh. I've seen it done really well, so I don't have any problem with it. Imagine looking exactly the same as your sibling and the only difference is your haircut. Superman beginning. Nice. Alright, are we gonna get an opening? Maybe not. Those are fries. They're cigarettes. Roberto and Meryl. So far, it has a very distinct aesthetic. I feel like sci-fi sometimes starts to all look the same, especially because it all borrows so much from Star Wars, Dune, Star Trek. It's not as old-fashioned as like Cowboy Bebop, but there's an effort to make it not, aesthetically not generic. Her voice sounds kind of familiar. I'll have to look that up. A lot of anime women voices sound the same to me, so that could just be me. Real people aren't monsters like that. I feel like there's going to be a lot of weight to that statement. And that's something that I've been thinking about a lot. Today is March 9th, 2023. So Attack on Titan just aired. The first part of the finale just aired a couple days ago, and I'm still recovering from that. But that's something that's been on my mind a lot. The fact that there are no monsters. There are just people that are capable of doing monstrous things. But, I mean, clearly this guy is not a monster and probably hasn't really done monstrous things. He seems like a silly, goofy guy to me. Maybe he has done some things, and that's why he's a pacifist. But I have a feeling that statement will be challenged. Real people aren't monsters like that. And I'm curious to see how the show deals with the dichotomy of humanity and monstrosity. There's our boy. Bad lads. I thought that said bad lands at first. If your protagonist is a pacifist, you have to put them up against things that are going to challenge that belief. We see it with Ed in Fullmetal Alchemist, Ed and Kimberly, and he chooses to spare Kimberly's life and then almost dies because of it. But says, you know, if that's the price that I have to pay to not kill, I'm willing to pay it. And then he even spares the homunculi's life. And he comes up against the guys at Briggs with Olivier and Miles, and how their survival philosophy seems to be at odds with his pacifistic, I wouldn't call it nonviolent, that boy can be violent, but with his death-averse philosophies. We see in Avatar: The Last Airbender with Aang, how he insists, despite, you know, his entire people being wiped out, that the Fire Lord doesn't deserve to die for what he's done because he's still human, and how he struggles with what's expected of him versus his own convictions. And so setting up a protagonist as a pacifist, it's such a strict ideology, right? To not kill or to not fight or to not go to war. There's different brands of pacifism, but generally I feel like all pacifists can agree on thou shalt not kill. They might have different ideas about the use of non-lethal violence, but when you set up a pacifistic main character, you have to push them to the limit to see how their ideology holds up. How are they going to deal with the suffering that they bring upon themselves and maybe even the people they love for their adherence to principle? And that's not to say that principles shouldn't be adhered to. I firmly believe that unattainable principles should be valued and esteemed and strived for, because if we take those principles down a notch, say we can't attain that, then belief systems start to crumble. If you say, well, no one can achieve perfection, so we're just not even going to try, then you end up in places of compromise, degeneracy, evil, whatever it is you want to call it. But if you strive for a perfection or a perfect, unattainable goal, you're always going to be pushing for that. You always have something more that you can do. And so I think it's ridiculous when people say things like, oh, well, no one can do that, it's unrealistic. Yes, that's the point, because we're striving for an apex of perfection. Anyway. I used to have that haircut too. We're good. Some integrity in our journalism. Oh, I'll have to pause at that map and look at it later. Meryl's coat looks Chinese. It has a Mandarin collar, and I forget what those things are called, but that's a cool little touch. Oh, did I say her coat? I meant like her shirt under the coat. Oh yeah, how old is she supposed to be? Barkeep is hot. I love him already. Okay, so she's probably about my age, fresh out of college. I also get mistaken for a teenager sometimes. It happens. Hope this mom doesn't die. Girl, she got that dead mom ponytail. He's so cute. I love him already. Lost technology after the space age. So, is this some kind of post-apocalypse situation, or like post-Valerian Jihad in Dune terms?
その男には莫大な懸賞金がかかってることを知らねえのか。おとなしくそいつを引き渡せば賞金はこの町のもんだ。できれば争いたくはないんだけど。なら素直に投降するんだな。本当は弱いジュライ憲兵。丸腰相手に銃を抜くその呆れた肝玉。やはり一流どころなら一対一の決闘だよな。決闘だ。 やっぱり決闘はまずかったかも。だってあの人は超熱い弱そうですわよ。決闘ってのは先に抜いた方が勝つわけじゃねえぞ。
I love the red painted rocks in the background. That's really cool.
抜け。 嫌だ。けえ、勝負にならん。嫌だ。
Okay.
こんなこと
Yeah.
馬鹿げて
Yeah. Yeah.
馬鹿げて
Where did he pull that out of? Bro, there's a bunch of spectators, idiot. Okay, he's spitting. I can hear the whistling in the soundtrack. That's really cool. Oh, he's only shooting a 22? Oh, there's the whistle again. 122 bullet. I don't know. It's not going to do that much, but I trust him. He's goofy and pathetic, but... Okay. Ooh, that animation is good. Those things have been falling for a really long time, but I will suspend my disbelief because this is fun. Okay, one bullet, yeah, I see. Oh, that was some lovely animation. Those explosions looked really good.
僕って最高についてるな。
一体誰にビビってる？赤いプラントに関係することか。
Very astute. The drunk old cowboys. They know things.
兄がいるんだ。
なんてことを。安心しろ。プラント戦だけは残すようにしてある。レムまで殺すなんて。お前は共犯者だ。
Evil piano. The keys are reverse colors. He's like in a Snuggie of jelly.
ミリオンズナイブスという名前は聞いたことあるかい？奴らは寄生虫だ。今度こそ俺が皆殺しにする。
Solid first episode. Oh, I've heard this song. I like this song. I'm gonna watch it real quick and then get to the talking. This animation is really interesting in the ending. It has a very blown out, dreamlike quality to it. Well, that was a really fun episode. I think it set the tone and the vibe for the show really well. If the rest of the show is just like that, I'll be perfectly happy. And then with the introduction of Nai, that will be the force that comes up against Vash. Probably the reason why he turned to pacifism is because his brother is clearly so disturbed. Yeah, so I wonder if it was Nai that brought about the ending of the space age or whatever, because he clearly had something to do with the crashing and the death of their caretaker mother. The boys obviously know something about the plant technology. I'm not sure if it's tech or bio, or it could be some kind of biotech, but the boys are in some way connected to that. Yeah, I don't know if the dying plant, like Nai, knows about it, or if he caused it, or if he's just happy about it because he wants people to die. Are they not people then? Because Nai said something about parasites. People being well, he didn't say people, but he's like, they're all parasites, which makes me think people. So maybe Vash and Nai are aliens or clones or some sort of spacefaring peoples. I'll be interested to see if there's any interplanetary travel, because it seemed like in that beginning, in that prologue, there was, but then I don't know how much technology or whatever has been lost. The planet, No Man's Land, seemed kind of technologically lacking, but I don't know if that's just because it's the Tatooine of the world and it's impoverished, or if everywhere is sort of feeling post-apocalyptic because of Nye, or because of the loss of plant technology and spacefaring technology and stuff. I'm intrigued by Nye because if you're gonna do like an insane, traumatized, genocidal type villain, unless you do it with a unique perspective or a little bit of nuance, it can be very boring and one note. And I'd like to think there's more to this show, more to the manga, than just pacifist versus terrorist or nihilist or genocidal speciesist supremacy type of stuff. Like, I have faith that there will be a more that's just the setup, that there will be more nuance and things unfolding. And clearly Nye wants Vash to feel implicated in the things. As the old saying goes, misery loves company. It could be that he hates his brother and wants him to suffer, or that he feels guilt and wants someone else to also share in that guilt. Sibling stories always get to me way more than like any other type of relationship. So I wasn't aware that this was going to be a sibling story, so now I'm really excited. But yeah, that's about all I have for today. Looking forward to the rest of the show. Should be pretty fun. This is exactly what I wanted.